I first got into Ayreon when my friend gave me the album 0101 that one. And I was amazed by it. I thought it was very creative, very dark. I thought the style was very unique because a lot of it was quite slow, um, but the creativity and the songwriting blew me away, and the melodies were very thoughtful. Then the Theory of Everything came out, and I also love that album. That one was more of a grower. Every time you listen to it, you realize just how genius it is. Anyway, The Source is amazing. It is one of the best albums that I've heard in a long time. I can't remember the last time an album blew me away this much. You know, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because when I realized who was going to be singing on it and the roster of singers and musicians, it's pretty much a dream team of metal singers. You never thought you would get all of these people on one record. Now, I have to admit something. When I heard that Tobias Sammet was going to be on it, I wasn't that amazed because I actually thought the guy who was on the 001 album was Tobias Sammet because their voices are very similar. I'm sorry, what is this guy's name? Steve Lee, I believe. Steve Lee. I heard him on 001 and I thought that was Tobias Sammet because their voices are, to me, they sound similar. Let me just go through the vocalists. James LeBrie, love him. His voice isn't for everybody. But to me, he has a very nostalgic, unmistakable tone and voice. He stood out a lot on this album. He did an amazing job. The addition of his voice made the album feel much more legit to me. It was like, this is a prog classic because it has James LeBrie in it. I mean, Dream Theater are the biggest prog band in the world. So there you go. Tommy Karvik. I would say he steals the show a bit. I know a lot of people say this, but he really is a phenomenal singer. Tommy Rogers from Between the Buried and Me. I don't listen to a lot of Between the Buried and Me because their style is a little extreme for me, but he added a very soft respite, I guess, to certain moments of the album. He was very much needed. Actually, one critique, if I may, I might have of the selection of singers, as much as I like most of them, is that they do, between, for example, Niles Carew, Tobias, Hansi, and Russell, those kinds of singers, they all have a very similar kind of classic metal tone, and for people who aren't familiar with those singers, it might be a little hard to tell them apart at certain times, like who's who and who's singing what part and stuff. So that's why I was very grateful for singers like Tommy, the two Tommies and Michael Erickson, because they at least have very unique voices that aren't typical like metal. Simone Simons, I'm delighted that she was on this album. I love her. She added a very welcome, warm vibe as the counselor. The only thing is, I would have liked to see more aggression from her because she is capable of it. You know, I do think that she did a great job and she was used the perfect amount, I think. Nils Carew, he's the one. He's someone that I never heard of. Pagan's Mind. I'm sorry to say that he's my least favorite voice. He's a really good singer and he has a really impressive range. But his style of singing doesn't appeal to me personally. It's that classic metal thing that I just complained about for 5 minutes. Tobias Sammet. I actually love his voice. I'm contradicting myself now, but he manages to convey a certain humanity and style. He's got something going for him, and he's able to channel his character, the captain, very, very well. I especially like his verse in "Everybody Dies." Hansi, I think Hansi is great. I've been looking at other reviews of this album, and I don't know why, but people seem to think that he was underused or that he was buried in the mix, or like not enough of him was there, or some people have even said that they thought he was the weakest vocalist. Well, to be honest, I don't really understand that because every time he comes in, it's so epic. Like he's able to bring such energy to each of his lines. Mike Mills as TH1, he is obviously extremely technically able to, pull off all of these crazy, elaborate harmonies. His range is really wild. Like some of his high notes, like in Run Apocalypse Run and stuff, it's really, really impressive. And he did a really great job as actually kind of as like a left channel, right channel side character as TH1, the computer. Very interesting idea to have this vocalist not really have any solo lines, like no straight solo melodies. All of his lines are harmonies. Russell Allen, Symphony X. He's a great, good old metal singer, Russell Allen. Oh, he's great. Again, for me, he toes that line a little bit of being too like, I'm a metal singer, but everyone loves him, so who am I? He plays his role as the president excellently. It's not clear to me whether the roles are written for specific singers or not, but I would believe that the president would be written for him because it's just perfect, and his singing is really effortless, as gritty and as manly and as gruff, is that a word, as it is. He really sounds at home singing this character on this album. Michael Erickson. I absolutely love Michael Erickson. It was really great for Ayreon to give him such a big role on this album. Even though his role as the diplomat is, I'd say, more of a supporting character, he actually has a lot of time on this album to showcase his very unique and amazing voice. It's a very smooth tone that cuts right through everything. You can hear him so well. He has such control, and his presence is very welcome, very felt. Floor Jansen. If you've seen my other videos, I've already ranted and raved about how much I love her, but on this album, she really reminded me of why she's the Queen Bee, or the Queen F. It seemed that she really had room to just, demolish. It was great that she had opportunities to showcase a lot of different parts of her voice on this album, but mostly her very high, clear, emotive belt. And Zahar Zargadi as the preacher had only one part, which is very great, good part, but not very noteworthy. Good melody, good kind of Arabic melody. So regarding the story on this album, and this is one of my very few criticisms of it, I do feel that the story was not important this time around. There was a little bit of a feeling that there wasn't much to differentiate each character from the other. I think like Floor Jansen as the biologist is a good example because I don't believe any of her lines relate much to biology. They were all just there to be there in a way. Now, there is an exception here and there, like the president and the opposition leader. They do have some good interactions, but essentially they're all on the same page because they all have to survive. So none of them can really fight that much. They can't go around killing each other, for example. So basically the story just is they're all there, and then at the end they're all there. And what happens is they're on planet Earth. They get in a spaceship, they go to another planet, they take liquid eternity, and then they live on the other planet eternally. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of conflict going on there. The drama is still there, it's just that it's not really a story per se, like there isn't really a twist or a plot. Like for example, for the first song, Day That the World Breaks Down, okay, yes, The robots are taking over, we get it, something bad's going to happen, what's going to happen? Sea of Machines, there's still robots. Still, what are we going to do? Everybody dies. Robots are starting to kill us, what are we going to do? There's been talk about the spaceship over there. When are we going to get on that spaceship? Star of Syrah, still talking about what we're going to do. Guys, the spaceship's over there, we can just get out of here. No? Okay. Run, Apocalypse, run. That's when they got in the spaceship. So they're having the same conversation through the space of about 5 songs, and then they get in the spaceship. I guess a lot of the story is to do with the memory of what happened and digesting what happened and processing what happened, which I understand. And then when they got onto the planet, there's no trouble becoming an immortal at all. They just take the serum that Tommy Rogers claims will make them eternal. No questions asked, of course. That's just a thing that chemists can do randomly. I'm being harsh, of course. I know it's a sci-fi story and I have to suspend my disbelief. And here's the thing. Ayreon is lucky because, for me, I actually don't really care about the story that much. I care about the music. It's safe to say that the story serviced the music rather than the music servicing the story, and I actually prefer that. I don't want a story so rigidly structured that it hinders any kind of creativity in the music. So now I'm gonna go through each song bit by bit, and you're gonna listen to it, and you're gonna like it. The day that the world breaks down. When I first heard this song, I was delighted. It gave me everything that I wanted from an Ayreon song. It had the slow melodic parts, it also had some faster bits, and everyone showcased their voice extremely well. The breakdown part is really, really cool. I think it's great that James Labrie, the king vocalist of prog, was able to open it. Everyone gets their time in the sun. Russell and Michael have a very neat duet, which is more kind of like groovy, funky towards the end of the song, and then Thor Jansen comes in and just fucking gets in your face at the end, and that is a really cool moment. Sea of Machines, a slower song which builds really nicely. The chorus is really catchy. The melody in the chorus is awesome. A lot of Michael Erickson in this one, as well as Tommy Rogers, both of them doing a sick little duet, stealing the show. The build up with Simone and Tobias and Russell is really epic. It really gets you hyped for what's coming in the rest of the album. The violin melody in the song is also very violin. Nils Cade closes it, and he actually does have a lot of epic moments on this album, even though his voice isn't totally my thing. Everybody Dies, my favorite song on the album. Gets your heart pumping. It has a lovely mix between major parts and minor parts. Lots of cool key changes, lots of tempo changes, lots of different dynamics between the vocalists. The first part is mainly dominated by the two Tommies and Mike Mills. And then the choruses are sung by Russell Hansi and Floor at the end, which I absolutely love. Her entrance towards the end really brings the song up, raises the tension so well. That change in the aesthetics of the song is really amazing. Also, I love Michael Erickson's part, which is the bridge, and of course Tobias's part about taking everyone to the stars right before the reprise of that phenomenal and really technical riff is astounding. So this song is it's a metal classic, instant metal classic, must hear. The aligning of the 10. So the Star of Syrah, just like, it's so good. and then the keyboard is like, it's great. It's really epic. James Labrie opens this one, really foreboding, you know. This is what's going on. We're in the fucking church. The chorus is kind of shared between Tobias, Hansi, and Floor, which is it's very well written. You know, it's just a good song that you can you'll find yourself humming. It's just like any sing-along thing, even though it's a very heavy song. Cool little prog switch up in the middle with Tommy Rogers and Michael Erickson getting a little sassy, and then there's a really good guitar solo by a guy whose name I do not know right now, but I heard that his first take didn't cut it, so I'm glad that Ayreon said no, that won't do, and now we have this really mind-blowing guitar solo which transitions back into the heavy riff in a really satisfying, mind-crushing manner. Floor ends the song. Again, I've noticed that she ends a lot of these songs, and I believe that's because her voice is probably the most climactic. Next is All That Was. It's mostly a duet between the two girls. Kind of folky, relaxed but sad song, you know, about saying goodbye to everyone's past life. And James Labrie and Michael Erickson have a really epic duet. That's another thing that I like about this album, is that I think Ayreon was very conscious of the different singers that fans would like to hear sing together, like line by line and harmonizing, and that happens with these two, for example, on this song, and it's great. Run Apocalypse Run, epic speed metal, the synths and the fucking keyboards and the fast drums. The drummer especially, I have to say, did a really good job on this. During the really technical proggy bit, right in the middle, gets really intense, and it's not one of those progressive parts that you're kind of waiting to end because you're not feeling any emotion. This progressive part is really, really technical and complex, but it kind of takes your mind down a winding path and it keeps you gripped rather than alienating you as a listener. And then it comes to a really sick, satisfying halt for James to come back in and say his line with a little... Ed Warby, that's his name, the drummer, and the keyboardist is, of course, Joost van den Broek. Tommy and Russell actually sing the same melody, but you can hear the difference in their voices and their technique. Just the different way that they approach the same melody is interesting, and that's something that you can also observe in depth across the album too. The same singers getting the same melody but interpreting it a little differently, depending on their character and of course their own personality. Yeah, you know, the prophet Nils K. Rue, he really knocks it out of the park on this. He is on this song, isn't he? Yes, he is on this song. See, this is the thing. This, especially in the chorus here, you can hear Tobias sing, you can hear a little bit of Russell, I believe. Yeah, you can. And, or, I think he's in the... Okay, so on the chorus, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's Tobias and only Tobias and Niles Carew in the chorus. Then the song ends with a really just meant to be minor chord, and you're like, I love this. This is perfect. Next is Condemned to Live. This is one of my favorites on the album. Very well written song. Chord progression is very emotive. It really communicates the guilt that the characters feel. Tommy Rogers, I love his lines in this especially. His duet with James at the start is great. Simone sings the chorus at one point right before a really cool heavy riff to contrast her, and then the folky violin part in the song is probably one of my favorites on the album. Just amazing to listen to, and thank the gods. Tommy Karavik and Floriansen duet together at the end. It's just exactly what I was hoping for. I'm sorry, but they're my two favorite singers on this album, and they sound so good together. It's crazy. CD2, Aquatic Race. This song is pretty good, but I'd say it's my least favorite song on the album. It's not as interesting as the others to me for some reason, although the main melody is good. Like, everything about it is good, and it's not by any means a bad song. It's just that all the other songs are better than this one, in my opinion. Actually, Tommy Rogers' part in the middle, the softer part, is quite profound or something to listen to. It's very, very human, which of course is juxtaposition right there, because he's not human, is he? He's turned into an aquatic forever. And I do like the main riff, and I do like the way the song ends with the ba 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 ba. That's cool, but not my favorite, but not bad. The Dream Dissolves, excellent song. Oh, the way that Simone comes in at the start, and then the way Floor follows her. And then there's this really neat keyboard solo. It just kind of goes like that. It just kind of takes you up and up the song. I love that. There's a really cool build and a guitar solo, and an amazing melody shared by the whole band towards the end to finish off the song. I absolutely love it. It's a really, really good one. Death Cry of a Race. I also love this song too. See, all of these songs, I'm telling you, this album is full of fucking belters. The melody has a little bit more of an Arabic vibe, hence the inclusion of Mr. Zorgati. Some good flute action going on in this one. And my favorite part of this song, I have to say, is another really, really cool duet between Tommy fucking Karavik and Floor fucking Jansen. And that last chord where they're both harmonizing, the climax of the song, that is the best thing I've ever heard. Okay, it's the best thing I've ever heard, and I want to thank Ayreon for giving us that moment between those two great singers. That just a minor chord out of nowhere with those two, it was just like, I don't know, it was just too much. I could talk about that, just that one moment forever. Into the Ocean. This is a really great switch up because it turns into more of a bouncy, upbeat, classic, fun rock song that isn't so serious. This is more of the guys hanging out, you know. You got Russell, you got Michael Erickson, you got like Tobias, and they're just hanging out and having a great time, turning into these fucking mutants. It's all good. Love Hansi's chorus, and Tommy blows this one out of the water yet again. What I love about him is how he varies his two parts by alternating the melody the second time with a few inflections, a few melisma moments. That he's so good at that stuff. Those like quick runs that really add an extra bit of flair to his singing. And then he does this really awesome, just like showy offy run at the end that fits really well with just the vibe of the song. It's just like, yeah, man, I feel that. That's really good. Okay, so next is Bay of Dreams. Bay of Dreams. It's more of an interlude track. It's not a standout one. It's more of a like, hey, by the way, this is kind of what we envision for our New World track. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wouldn't really call it a song in itself. Its function is more to support the story, which I appreciate. It's a good break before getting into Planet Y is Alive. Another thing about this album is its pacing is immaculate, really. Now it's time for another speedy song, Planet Y is Alive. You got Hansi knocking the chorus out of the fucking park. What else you got? You got, Tommy's verses. That guy is just the best, you know. Just being a fucking amazing bastard on the verses. Then you got Russell doing a little cool part there. I love Tobias's part in this as the captain. Planet Y is alive. And then he goes really high to, yeah, steal the show. I think that really high note that Tobias does in this song really solidifies that he like owns his place on this album. So many fucking cool epic moments, like they just keep coming at you. Coming at you. This is great, this is amazing, this is mind-blowing, this is incredible, this is outstanding. Oh my god, I'm verging on fanboyish right now, but I'm not exaggerating. Like, I'm not. The Source Will Flow. This song is amazing. It's another ballad shared by Tommy Rogers, James, and Simone, and each of them contribute the best performance possible. That it almost is making me cry right now just thinking about it. These three do such an amazing job on this song that I'm at lost for words, absolutely lost for words. And also the fan videos that were submitted for this song were really amazing, and I believe that the winner was very much deserving. That the interpretation. What I liked about that video is it wasn't typical metal. It was very. It almost had a bit of an indie hipster vibe, you know, which can go either way, but really worked really, really well. And another thing about the song is I love the keyboard in it. I love the keyboard melody combined with the flute. Oh, Journey to Forever is so good. It's it's like a lift in spirits at the end. It reminds me very much of a Broadway musical, the way at the end when the whole cast comes back and they're like, we're gonna make you leave with a great smile on your face and you had a great time tonight. And it's just a very fun, catchy song. A few key changes to like rise your spirits up, and the violin melody is really, really just hits you right in the heart. Hits you right there. Wonderful, wonderful, I love it. The Human Compulsion. This is the final song that, similarly to the 001 album, each singer gets their last chance to show off. I love it. Everyone has their final moment. You know, it's very profound, very meaningful. You know, I'm sorry to mention her once again, but Floor, that's probably the highest note I've ever heard her do. And I'm like, gee, I didn't know she could do that. I was just fucking cut up into pieces and scattered across the earth with that one last note that she does. I've heard some people say that they wish that this song was a bit more of a long epic, similar to previous albums, and that it is a bit short for an album closer. But this is not a long album, actually. I guess it is, actually. It's reasonably long. To me, it doesn't feel like a long album because every song is so compact and unique, and it doesn't feel tedious. It doesn't feel like it's dragging, because there's a new life breathed into the story at each moment. So, in my opinion, The Human Compulsion is a really awesome closer. March of the Machines is more of an epilogue. Nice, cool, you know, sci-fi. Me. Bit of a warning by Mr. Mills. You know, setting things up for Age of Shadows from the 001 album. Another thing is, I didn't expect an album like this from Ayreon, because 001 and The Theory of Everything, admittedly, I haven't really explored his back catalogue. I should, but they've always have been on the slower side and more of a thinky side, like more of a grower, and I honestly did not expect him to come out with this album, which is so aggressive, yet so full of life and energy. I would say his previous albums have more of they're kind of like waves going up and down like this, and this album is very lively. It feels very youthful. It feels like he really wanted to like knock it out of the park and make a statement with this one, and my god, he already has me excited for the next one that he has coming out. So I would say, Ayreon, you know, well done. It's literally perfection. It's like my fantasy cast of characters. and every single character is used absolutely perfectly. It was like I had a fantasy and a dream about this album, and then it just dropped into my lap. It's exactly what I was looking for. Definitely album of the year. I don't see how anything can top this. So that's it for me. I would say Ayreon has definitely inspired me. So my next project is going to be an opera metal album very similar to this. So keep an eye out. Okay? Keep an eye out. Thanks. Good night. Let me know your thoughts if you agree or if you don't agree. But I don't see how you could possibly disagree with anything I've said, because I am obviously right about everything. I am theoretically right about everything. I have a theory about everything. Oh!